The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For the best in vacation plannings, just visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Let them know that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Have you ever played the charade game on your phone? Because the girls were playing it in line.
Heads up, right? Is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
3 young girls were playing it in line. And suddenly, Scott, multiple Bud Lights in, decides that he wants to play. But we are in one of the most enclosed spaces of the queue, and he's not quiet in any sense of the word. And they're doing food and, things like asparagus. It makes your pee smell, yelling it out.
I said it's what your pee smells like, and it's green.
She gets it right. That's great. But then we continue on. Now they're doing animals. This man is doing seal noises.
Oh my God.
And I could not meet anybody else's
Like
eyes.
the singer?
No, like the animal, like beach, dehydrated, like dying. It was awful.
It could be seal.
Because the anxiety and the embarrassment was just rising with every second.
Sarah's checking her bank account, be like, can we afford lightning?
Right?
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
Like the guy said, we're the No New Friends podcast, the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting, voted #1 by our friends and family. Now, if you'd like to connect with us, all of our social media links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. From there, join our Patreon, our Clubhouse, become a friend with benefits. You get prizes, you get exclusive content, all sorts of fun stuff. We go live at Disney or Universal every single Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the TikTok. And right now, we are live on the YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can watch us do this thing live. My name is Scott. I'm the host. With me, as always, my incredible cast of characters, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Shout out to all the blind people.
The Jewish American princess, Sarah.
Hello.
And that's it. Nick is not feeling well. Darren is at a movie, but we can't forget our producer, Alex.
No one forgets about me.
I could.
So what's going on, guys? School is right around the corner for our kids. Not your kid, Chris.
Oh, for my business. So I'm preparing in different ways.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. All right. So, Sarah, how's it going with the girls getting ready for school? What's your process? Are you in debt right now?
I am in debt right now because yesterday we went school shopping and $400 later.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. They've got new clothes. And one child picked out like 5 pairs of pants and 1 shirt. And the other one picked out like 4 shirts and 2 pairs of pants. So I don't know how it worked out. Couple sweaters, new pair of shoes for each of them. $400.
Oh my God. Now, Sarah, how does that work with you, with your all situation? Because you have the girls a couple days a week and then they're with their mom a couple days a week. So like you buy clothes. Is there like a rule like, okay, the stuff that we buy stays here and needs to come back here? Or is it just kind of a team effort between both households?
I'll be honest. I'm really just particular and anal about the things that I have that we get.
Cut out. Said something about anal?
Yeah, that was in there. But the girls come in clothes from their mom's house, and so I always make sure that they're washed, ready to go, and then I send them back in them.
It's interesting. The only time I come in clothes is usually socks.
Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry.
That is actually really sad.
Yeah. So like our situation is a little bit different. Abby's here pretty much full time, but there was a time that like we would have her on the weekends and she'd be with her mom during the week. So like we'd buy a bunch of clothes and then she would come home on she would come here on Friday with like ripped, just dingy outfits, and all of our good outfits were going home with her to her mom's. And I'm like, why are we spending all this money on clothes when we only get to see her in the dingy stuff?
So there's another girl in the household that is around our oldest daughter's age. So sometimes, clothes get mixed up, and then she goes off to her mom's house. And so sometimes I'll get pictures that are like, hey, did this come from your house or not? But to be safe, I keep everything here. And not only that, but as we know, I have my vintage clothing collection, and the girls love to wear my clothes, and I wash them a certain way. I take care of them. So no, everything stays here.
I also found out today that you sell clothes to your girls.
I do not.
And I'm like, wow, we've hit like an all new level of Jew, just where she's selling clothes to her kids.
This happened in a matter of like 3 seconds too. I walk away to go and grab my drink from the counter at Starbucks, and I come back, and Scott has told me that apparently my oldest said I sell clothes and to her. And she's over his shoulder like, no, I said she gave it to me. So
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it. I said, that sounds like Sarah. That was the second that sounds like Sarah that happened today, because at one point I'm buying a beer, Chris, and my daughter says, oh, is that for Sarah? And I said, no, Sarah drinks tequila. And she goes, oh yeah, that sounds like Sarah. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
I questioned that later. I was like, is that good or bad? Honestly,
I know, right?
I haven't stopped thinking about that.
Chris, what do you do to prepare for back to school?
I drink a lot.
Perfect.
Actually, yeah. It's because the only thing that happens for my back to school is state inspections, which are ruthless. They come to my property twice a year to inspect our school buses, because that's what we do, is we transport kids to school. And so I drink and pay my mechanic. So it ends up in a lot of depression and debt. Hangovers, depression, and debt. You know what I love doing right now, though, is I love going to Target and like perusing through the back to school section, because I don't have to buy any of this stuff yet. I get to window shop.
You don't get but you do. You don't get to buy it yet, but you do buy it. Like, you don't have to, but you're a collector.
Well, I was going to say that on air, but yes, I do have a collection of back to school stuff. They have some really cute lines at Target right now, Scott. I don't know if you've been to the back to school section at Target. And you know what? Backpacks aren't as expensive as what I remember them to be.
Well, it depends on which backpack. If you're just going to get the
as bad for making my parents buy me like the Power Rangers backpack. It's like $25.
That's cheap.
That's not bad.
But if you get the Jansport backpack.
Yes, which I did make my parents buy, but they do last a while until you grow out of the color, which usually happens every 2 years.
Right. That's the biggest problem. Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
But what about when you buy the backpack that has to match the lunchbox, that has to match the water bottle?
Oh, I went brown paper bag.
Oh,
so
no.
It matched everything.
Our kids are taking chicken and rice and beans for lunch. Okay, they get home cooked meals, and they go in a cute little container that keeps it hot for them. And
I got cheese and ketchup with a juice bag.
Both of you just fell into the stereotypes. You've got the Latino household. We've got taking the rice and yellow beans and yellow rice and black beans, and then you've got Chris, who was preparing as a kid to be homeless with brown paper bags all the time. With
peanut butter and jelly with a juice bag as the ice pack. It doubled as the ice pack. And then I got reduced lunch, so I would always get a second lunch every day for 40 cents, which was amazing.
You would be sickened by the amount of food that our youngest takes to school. Honestly, it's sad. She'll get her main meal and then a drink, and then she'll get like a sweet snack, a salty snack. She'll get a candy. She'll get 5 or 6 things in her lunchbox, and she'll eat all of it. Or she'll save one thing for the car ride home and then get pissed off at her sister when she wants a bite of it. And she's like, I saved this for my car ride home. Why didn't you do the same?
See, no, I get that, because I used to strategically save like chips for math class because I was sucked at math. So I'm just going to eat these chips.
Chris still strategically saves chips, but most of the time it's in his beard or in his fat rolls.
That is true.
So the growing out of things. So we bought, Abby's now going to be in 7th grade. So name brand matters, style matters.
Yeah. Like Abercrombie,
matters.
American Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything matters.
That's
now.
still a thing, Sarah and Scott? Is that still a thing? Like the girls have to wear like Hollister or Abercrombie or American Eagle?
I don't know that it's necessarily that name brand.
That was the worst.
It's definitely a name brand. Like there's styles that matter. There's names that matter.
I used to have to wait to go to the flea market to get that stuff. Fake. When I was younger.
Thus his hoarding and collecting and reselling began. So like last year we spent a lot of money on clothes before summer, and she's wanting to go clothes shopping. She's like, hey, can we go clothes shopping? And we're like, no, because there's still some things from the beginning of last year with the tag on it. And so like we had a really good conversation yesterday, and she's like, the clothes that I bought, that I picked out, I liked, but then turns out was not the style, did not want to be made fun of. So I didn't wear it. And I'm like, okay, fair. So we told her, we're not going to go back to school shopping until 2 weeks into the school year, so that you can get a feel for what's trending, what's in, what's cool. And then we can buy clothes so that it makes sense and you'll actually wear it. But same damn thing with the backpack. She picked out a backpack last year, Jansport. And I'm like, okay, great. This is going to last through middle school. She's over that style already.
The thing with the Jansports too is they are the worst backpacks. They don't fit a lot. They're little backpacks. They're little, because if you want the bigger Jansport, it's not cool.
Correct.
Like the hiking Jansport, no one wants that.
Right. But that's what they need in middle school. Like, I don't know how my daughter hasn't needed back surgery, because she comes home with this massive backpack. I'm like, isn't everything digital now? What are you doing? Like,
I have a hunchback from middle school.
You do what? Hunchback?
I have a hunchback from middle school. Nick actually came into play for that too as well, but I think mostly middle school.
Sarah, you were going to say something?
Well, we're not going through that with the girls. We're very lucky. See, I was that child. I was the person.
But you will.
I don't think so, because the girls they get it from me. They're very much so like, it's about the style. It's not about the brand.
Sure.
Yeah. So they're very much so into their own style. They are very specific, but they don't care what brand it is. I mean, we went shopping at Ross. They were so excited to go shopping at Ross.
My favorite.
And they went shopping at Ross with their mother and then with us. And then my mother-in-law is taking them shopping tomorrow. And I know she's going to go to Ross, and they love it.
Right.
But like me, I had to do the Hollister, the Abercrombie, those name brands.
Was that just our generation, Sarah?
100%.
Thank goodness. I'm glad that's over. That was horrible.
Yeah.
So,
they're going in debt now, I think, half these stores.
Because we all grew up. We're like, I'm shopping at Walmart now and Goodwill.
Right. Sarah, I think I mentioned this to you today. It's really sweet that you're like, oh yeah, they're not into the name brand. It's all about the style and this and that. And the girls are so cute. They just absolutely adore you and love you so much. But Sophie's starting 6th grade.
Yeah, but you don't understand that these children are anomalies in like every way possible. So
you think that
I'm holding out. I've been there for 6 years now.
We will revisit this conversation mid-year this year.
Perfect.
And we'll know, Chris, we won't even need to ask her. We'll know, because the hair that's always nicely done and like, she's always, on fleek. It's going to change. Your hair's going to be all over the place. You're going to be smoking a cigarette on the air. Just like these damn kids, because the sass becomes real.
Well, you don't understand. You're underestimating my sass. Okay. So I think I've said this before, but we give what we get. You want to give me an attitude? I'm going to give you an attitude. And they're like, oh, that doesn't feel great. We don't want to do that anymore. And it never happens ever. So, and not only that, but I think sometimes mentally I'm their age. Like, I'm all with it. They want to do what they want to do. I'll go with the flow because I've been there before.
We'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Chris, I did curse in front of their youngest today.
Oh no! What'd you say?
I don't remember. It wasn't like
you said badass. Actually, that was all
I said
he
badass.
said.
Yeah,
At least it wasn't a racial slur.
I got the worst look from their youngest. Like I had committed a mortal sin. She goes, and I'm like,
side eye, jaw drop. Yep.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I am apologizing profusely to Sarah and Lewis. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I didn't know you guys don't curse around her. And like, oh, we do. She just feels weird about bad words. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Are you guys
the oldest one? We've seen her text messages, so we're not concerned.
Wait, but I saw some pictures. I saw some videos of this trip you're talking about where you apparently cursed in front of the girls.
Yes.
You looked a little on, I don't know if you were in rare form today, Scott, or if you were on edge or something. I wasn't there and you didn't go live. So Sarah, you're the only eyewitness account. Was Scott on his best behavior today or was he in rare form?
He was in rare form and not necessarily on a positive note.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know how many
did he touch
Bud
Justin's
Lights.
dick?
No, not that I saw. I don't think he was close enough. Well, we didn't have an opportunity to get close enough, I suppose. I don't know how many Bud Lights.
They kept me separated by a barrier.
Yeah, they really did.
Like, okay, girls, you can come down and meet Justin. You, sir, your picture is in our dressing room and not in a good way. You have to stay behind the barrier.
Well, I think he saw you continuously trying to get his attention. Like, hey.
Did I?
Well, not. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you're like looking around and you're like, he saw me. He waved. Thumbs up, wink.
I definitely did do that.
I want you to know something. When the girl's mother picked them up this evening, she said, my youngest, hey, Mom, so we met Hot Indy today. To which I had to explain to Mom who Hot Indy is and how it came to be in short form. So that was super fun.
Yeah. We had to they would have talked to us for another hour. We had to excuse ourselves. They were so nice to us.
They really are.
Well, they get paid by the hour, so.
Yeah, I didn't go live today, Chris. We did go to Hollywood Studios today, and
I was kind of pissed off. I was pissed off that you didn't go live because you texted us in the morning. You said not going live today. I was like, all right, well, I'm in my outfit. I'm in my, I'm all cuddled up, ready to watch this, and now, in my outfit and cuddled up. I mean, I was sitting on the toilet waiting for you to go live. That's usually what happens when you go live. And I watched you in the shower for 2.5 hours. But anyway, I was a little pissed off, but I was even more pissed off that you did go live because then I got dressed. I took a shower, I got dressed, and then I was not ready. I was not mentally there. And I saw it. I tuned in, saw it was Indy, and I turned it off because I was like, I'm not in the mental headspace to be watching this right now. Because Scott lied to me. He told me he wasn't going to live today, and now he's live. So a little upset. Yeah, a little upset.
You were the only one who didn't watch.
Yeah,
because,
good. I hope you noticed.
Yeah, I haven't been to the parks with Lewis and Sarah for a while, and
they haven't been to the parks with you for a while.
They haven't been with me for anyway. All the girls were there with us. They've
been going on Thursdays,
right? My daughter was there. Their girls were there. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy the day. And I told them, I said, this is your day. I said, you guys do whatever you want to do.
And how much do you regret it, Scott?
I said, I just want to do the 115 Indiana Jones show. That's all I care about.
Wish you would have told us.
So, Chris, this is what happened. So we say, okay, we're going to meet at 10 o'clock. Perfect. That I'm going to get there at 9:30. That gives me time to kind of look at the Halloween merch that's out, go to get my first beer, and then we'll meet at 10 o'clock. Well, it's I find out that they have parked because Abby and their oldest are communicating via Snapchat. And I'm like, okay, so they should be here any minute. So I buy another drink for Lewis. I wanted to be nice and say, here you go, sir. Here's your drink. And it's taking forever. I have now finished my second beer. And And I'm like, I look at Abby and I said, how much you want to bet those MFers went to Starbucks? Because they knew that I would throw a fit if they met me first and then went to Starbucks. So I'm like, Abby, ask them where they're at. Sure enough, they're in Starbucks.
Ooh, I have a couple questions about Starbucks. So Sarah, did you indoctrinate Lewis into the Starbucks culture, or was it the opposite?
No, I definitely didn't. When we worked together, there was a Starbucks on the way to work, and we used to pick it up every morning. So it was just by happenstance.
Yeah, because Starbucks is definitely very much a culturally white thing. I wasn't sure if...
do not prefer Starbucks.
Oh, wow.
I prefer Starbucks to Joffrey's. So that's why we go there.
That makes sense. What's your order at Starbucks?
I forget every time.
It's very telling.
I actually ordered it wrong today, and she looked at me and she's like, here are your two options. You mix two different drinks together. So which one do you want? The Java chip Frappuccino when it's hot outside, and the mocha latte extra sweet when it's cold.
Oh, yeah. So you're a Dunkin' girl.
Oh, for sure. I know exactly what I want.
I can tell. Yeah, I can tell by your order that you were like, that's the order when you're like, there's no Dunkin' near here. I'm just going to make it taste like Dunkin'.
Oh my God. Cake batter season, game over. They sell them by the gallon. I almost did it.
So here's what's interesting, Chris. So I didn't buy Lightning Lane today. One, it's a new process.
That is very interesting, Scott. Wow.
Yeah, you're mocking me. We'll get there. Jesus.
It's not interesting. I was just joking.
Yes, I know that. I got it. I picked up the sarcasm. So we do Tower of Terror first, and I don't get the full feel of being a mouth breather at this point because it was essentially almost a walk on.
Okay. Thank goodness.
But then we get to Rock and Roller Coaster, Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay, thank you. Thank you for specifying.
And I walk into the queue and I look at Lewis and Sarah. I was like, I've never seen this before. Like, how long has this been here? And they're showing me like, oh, over here it used to say your names. And they're like, usually I'm the tour guide going, oh, did you know this about this? Did you know this? They're showing me this queue. And I'm like, what is this magical place that we're in? Like,
it's never like a shitty Hard Rock Cafe.
Exactly. I was like, I've never seen this stuff before. I was like, is this what it feels like to be poor? Because I don't like it.
Now, I'm actually surprised that he was able to pay attention to the queue line, and it's because have you ever played the charade game on your phone? Because the girls were playing it in line.
Heads up, right? Is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
3 young girls were playing it in line, and suddenly Scott, multiple Bud Lights in, decides that he wants to play. But we're in one of the most enclosed spaces of the queue, and he's not quiet in any sense of the word. And they're doing food and, things like asparagus. It makes your pee smell, yelling it out.
I said it's what your pee smells like, and it's green.
She gets it right. That's great. But then we continue on. Now they're doing animals. This man is doing seal noises.
Oh my God.
And I could not meet anybody else's
eyes. Like the singer?
Like the animal, like beach, dehydrated, like dying. It was awful.
It could be seal.
But it was very loud. And I, again, could not make eye contact with anybody around us because I had to walk 5 steps ahead because the anxiety and the embarrassment was just rising with every second.
Sarah's checking her bank account, be like, can we afford Lightning Lane?
Right?
I forgot about that. I was loud and I was definitely not giving kid-friendly clues a ton of times. No.
And talking over the kids trying to actually play the game.
Yeah.
It's very competitive with it.
I threw one of the kids. I was like, get out of my way. Like, this is my turn. My time to shine.
Now, I do want to translate. Scott said, I found out what it was like to be poor. Now, to people listening to this who are middle class, he means fiscally responsible.
I did get cut off. I told you about that a couple weeks ago.
When you said you bought Lewis a drink, my stomach dropped because oh my gosh, did you check in with Rachel first?
I think I bought him 2 drinks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Sarah's
So like,
tequila.
Abby, you're drinking
yeah.
water today. That's it. Because I gotta buy these. I gotta buy drinks for our friends. No Coca-Cola for you.
But it was fun. Rise of the Resistance. It was a posted 35-minute wait time. Wow,
that's
probably
crazy.
15, 20 minutes. I mean, it didn't. We were talking, so it didn't seem very long.
Oh, it sounds like a great time. I'm not jealous at all or anything that you guys were all hanging out, having a good time, talking and stuff.
Yeah, it was a great time.
While I was playing virtual college football with my daughter screaming.
And then we did go see the 1:15 Indiana Jones show. What was funny is I hear the whip cracking backstage, and I'm like, that's not Justin. Justin doesn't practice before the show. Like, I know everybody's tendencies. I'm like, it's a new indie practicing. And then I see Justin. I'm like, oh, it's Justin. I have to go live. So that's why I went live. And it was one of our, what's so funny is I put so much time and effort and strategy into my lives. And lately we may cross 100 views. It's very small. We maintained above 300 for a significant amount of time during that show today. I was like, what is happening?
Confused, probably.
Yeah, they probably thought they were
felt bad.
Yeah, Jarendale's stream just ended, and so they were all coming to us. I think that's what happened. We did go have lunch at Backlot Express, and I've told this before that as a kid, I used to see 3 indie shows a day. I would see one of the first ones. We'd eat at Backlot Express, and there's a part of Backlot Express that you could see the show, and then we'd see the nighttime show. So, Sarah, go ahead and tell this, because there's a video that exists also.
Yeah, well, you heard, I'm pretty sure it was the whip again.
I did. I heard the whip.
You stood up from the table where we were all eating and grabs his drink, wanders over, and he's watching and he's looking, staring over the fence. And I decide to take a video because he looks like a child standing there waiting to see if Justin is coming out. And he turns and he looks, and just very, very kid-like. He's looking and he's waving like, hey guys, I'm just waiting for Indy. I'm just waiting. And we all just sat there and watched him waiting. And then of course we heard the story about seeing it 3 times a day as a kid.
Oh, you used to see it 3 times a day as a kid, Scott?
Chris, what's funny is I tell the same stories every time we're at the park.
It's hard to believe.
They know that when we go into the pre-show of Tower of Terror, I'm going to say, what's funny is Rod Serling was super dead when they developed this ride. So here he is. And then new information. I was like, do you know that the voice of the guy was on Remy's Roundtable? And this happens over and over and over again. I tell the same stories everywhere.
Actually, you told us that one 3 times during the pre-show today. So that one's definitely stuck in my brain.
But by the time we did Tower of Terror, I was already 3 deep with no food to prep me. But it was it was a good time. Chris, when I was looking through the bushes, I was literally on a curb, peering through the bushes to see if I could see Justin. I realized that was, I had hit a low at that point. But speaking of Remy, so he just had an episode of Remy's Roundtable.
He did, he does every Tuesday, live on YouTube.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day of the week. Mm-hmm. And if this is your first time listening to our show, Remy is a good friend of ours. He's got a Remy's Roundtable, the Florida Theme Park podcast. But he said something that had created a lot of discussion for us. How much did he say he pays for car insurance, Chris?
If I remember correctly, because I did rewind that part 3 times while listening yesterday, just to see if I was hearing something wrong. He said he did pay $104 or $5 for car insurance.
A month?
A week.
What?
A week.
That's insane.
Which would equate to around $400 a month. In Remy math, because that's what he said, $4 a month. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
He did confirm with us that for him and his wife, they spend the upwards of over $600 a month on car insurance.
So you did some fact checking. Like you,
I did.
You went to the source.
I reached out to when you say to the source, I reached out to his wife today.
Right.
And I said, my jaw dropped while I was listening to, okay, I just saw something in chat we have to talk about in a second.
Right.
And we might have Remy beat. I reached out to the source. I reached out to Remy's wife, and she said that they spend over $600 a month for 2 cars. So while you guys are going to discuss this, I'm going to look up the rankings of most expensive car insurance in the country to see where Florida ranks. Because I would think at $600 a month for 2 cars, or $650, whatever it is a month for 2 cars, Florida's got to be like the top 5 most expensive places to insure your car in the country. So I'm going to look this up while you guys discuss.
So I do know that Remy's got a very bad driving history. He's got a 1-star rating on Uber. I don't even think he's allowed to drive Uber anymore. He has yelled racial slurs out his window at the guy sitting on the porch. So like Remy is a bad driver. Okay. So I can kind of understand. Well, in the conversation. So Chris, what do you pay in New Jersey?
So we pay $115 for 2 vehicles.
Right.
2 vehicles, 2014 and 2022.
I just found out we pay, and I was telling Chris, we pay our entire premium at once. Like we don't pay monthly. We pay everything at the very beginning of the 6 months out, whatever. So ours comes down to about $270 a month. 2 people, 2 cars, okay. The top box insurance, like the top box, Gap, uninsured, everything. We're at the highest tier, $270 a month. Sarah. and I'll say the we pay in quotes because Rachel pays. Sarah, what do you pay in car insurance?
For 2 vehicles.
2 vehicles, 2 people.
5.
One of them, I should say, one of them is a brown person who drives a Civic. So we'll put that out there.
Well, the brown person doesn't count because they're both under me.
Oh, yeah, he is.
The brown people are under you?
Well, sometimes, but anyways. But we have a 2018 CRV and a 2022 Civic Sport, and it is $536 a month.
Oh, my God.
And we do have top insurance as well.
Mm.
Well, I know there was an accident, so that probably hit the insurance, even though it wasn't your fault. The filing a claim always affects your insurance. So that's probably what drove yours up, right?
That was part of it.
How many speeding tickets have you gotten?
Oh, it's not speeding tickets. No, I can say that it's
vehicular manslaughter.
Well, I don't know, fender benders, maybe?
Fender benders, plural.
Just a flesh
plural. Yeah, oh yeah, no, there's plural. There's plural. If we're talking about the entirety of my driving record, it's less than 2 hands, but more than 1. But let's call it contact with other vehicles.
Are we talking about hand jobs or accidents? Less than 2 hands, more than 1. Anyway, sorry, continue.
We talked about this earlier, Scott, remember?
Yes.
Probably not.
No, I do.
But,
I do remember you saying, I need to use
remember.
both hands or something. Yes.
Oh, it's exactly what you think, Chris. He was
driving.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a very safe driver.
So
weren't your kids with you today? Never mind.
Remember,
behind us.
They were playing heads up, and I was using very unchild friendly guesses.
You were both playing heads up.
I know how to whisper.
One was playing heads up, heads down. I don't know.
So we're going to call it contact with other vehicles.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Like that sounds like a football penalty. So we do have some new emerging facts and details. So Remy did inform us that he's done with Uber and Lyft. I've determined the lie detector has determined that is a lie. They're done with you, I'm pretty sure. I have looked up, and Florida is one of the top states where it's the most expensive.
Okay.
And New Jersey's right around there too, as from marketwatch.com, which watches the market, I would assume. New Jersey's state average minimum coverage rate is $117 a month. Florida's average should be somewhere around $400, I would assume, since his premium is $600. The average minimum coverage rate would be $134 a month.
Okay.
I would suggest to both Remy and Hannah, who is in chat.
Yeah, she just said $923.
$900 now, and she did say Tesla. That's one of the reasons why I did not get a Tesla, because the the car payment was almost as much as the insurance. It was ridiculous. That's why I got a different electric car. But anyway, I digress. So try to Hannah, to Remy, to all people listening to this who pay more than the state average, $134 a month. Check Geico. Geico is the cheapest minimum coverage provider at $54 a month on average in Florida. And in
so
New
you
Jersey.
really can save 15% by switching to Geico.
Yeah, I have Geico. I have Geico. You do have to adopt a lizard. I have 3 of them. I have 3 of them actually right now. But
can you get into for the business how much you pay per vehicle? Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, it's like $600 per vehicle. It's ridiculous. It's really bad. You can't go through Geico. You have to go through commercial insurance. You need like $5 million in coverage. It's because you're carrying
you're
students.
carrying lives.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's really, really bad. It's disgusting. It's one of the most. It's one of the highest expenses of the business is car insurance. Wow. And it's $600 a month. I think we got it down from like $800 a month. It's ridiculous. It's sickening. And New Jersey, that's why I know New Jersey is one of the highest in the country, is because a lot, like our first insurance company got out of the business because like, this is ridiculous, and they just stopped insuring in New Jersey. So they either did that or they covered Remy and went out of business. I have no idea. I have no idea the details.
Oh, that's funny. Are you guys watching the Olympics at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But mainly because my daughter has me up like really early in the morning. This morning I was up at 7 a.m. watching BMX biking. And so before we get into the probably topic that you anticipated, have you been watching Gold Zone at all on Peacock?
I've not been watching. What is
I'm about
Gold
to change
Zone?
your world.
What is
you know what
Gold
Red Zone is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they hired the same guy, Scott Hansen, and they have a Gold Zone on Peacock.
Okay.
And it's on from like 5 a.m. whenever they start till it's on 10 hours a day. And they have the quad box like you're watching football, but it's all the Olympic events.
Oh my God.
And there's
I'm
like
gonna have to tell my mom.
It is the like I kid you not. I came into the other room and then I walked into the other room. And Emily was watching Gold Zone tonight, and it flies by so quick, just like Red Zone does. And I'm like, they're going off, because Emily was watching Bachelor or something. She's like, why aren't you watching Olympics? Like, it's like 11 o'clock at night over there now. I was like, oh my gosh, we've been watching Gold Zone all day. It's finally off. It is the greatest thing. It's on Peacock, on Peacock, and it's on from like whatever in the morning. I know it's on at least at 7 because that's what time I was up with my daughter this morning.
Yeah.
And you're watching the best of the best. They got the quad box, they got the horses prancing, they got the BMX bikers BMXing, they got the volleyballers in the little bikinis, and they got the whatever the fourth one is, probably like, I don't know, judo or something. Not your race, Sarah. Like, it's a karate. And it's great. It's great. But anyway, I did need to do a public service announcement just in case you guys didn't know. Peacock, I didn't know. Gold Zone. Check it out.
I'm going to have to tell my mom this is going to change her world.
Yeah, it's the best. Not to be confused with Chris Hansen, who you have encountered a few times in your life, Scott, to catch up with other guys.
Stop. I will say I was watching some women's water polo the other day, and they go to the underwater view. I'm going to have to start watching women's water polo a little bit more closely because... And the women's beach volleyball.
I've been watching it ever since puberty.
Good for you.
Did you know that Flavor Flav actually sponsored the women's water polo?
Yeah, he found out that they have to have like 3 jobs.
She's like, I'll pay for this underwater cam too.
The Flav cam. Oh man, that's funny. So I used to watch the Olympics a lot when I was a kid. Especially like the 96 Atlanta Olympics. You know, I was 16 years old. So why, it wasn't abnormal for me to be watching the women's gymnastics team. And I love that.
That's when Caitlin was still Bruce, right?
That is when Caitlin was still Bruce.
Yeah, I think it was a little before that, but
yeah, he competed way before that.
Yeah,
but that was
shit.
The dream team, Olympic team. With Carrie Strug, and Shannon Miller. All these names. All these. At 16 years old, let me remind you, I was 16. I had a crush on all of them.
Okay.
At 16,
still?
no,
okay.
I do
not.
Do you
watch the? Okay.
All right. I mean, I do. They're my age, so I can have a crush on them now.
But you don't watch replays and be like, wow.
I do not. Okay. I'm not their doctor.
Right. Okay. That was so bad. That was so bad. Oh man,
what was his name? Larry Nance
or something like that. Nasser. Wow.
So it's interesting the side stories that you hear about the Olympics, and I'm not talking
about doctors of the
Larry Nasser. That was his name.
Like, that was an interesting side story for sure.
Not that side story, but and I'm not talking about the feel good things and the things that make you cry when they win. But I've seen there's pictures and videos surfacing of the dorm rooms in the Olympic Village. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen their beds?
What beds? Are they beds? Can you even call them beds?
They're Sarah, you haven't seen them?
No, not at all.
They're fully made out of cardboard. And they're calling them anti-sex beds. And I don't
That's what they're calling. Who's calling them that?
I just saw it on the Facebook and I said I got to talk about
CNN.
This. It could have been CNN. It could have been CNN. Beds, Yes. That was right after they were calling The Last Supper. It's not The Last Supper. It's actually
it was like the feast,
remake
the
of the Feast of Dionysus
or
something.
Yeah, with that blue guy with the balls.
Yes.
Still equally as uncomfortable.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
That didn't change anything for me.
But these beds are fully made of cardboard. The base, they're trying to be eco-friendly because they can recycle it, and what do they do with all these beds afterwards? I'm like, rent out the apartments and have them fully furnished, maybe.
Yeah, whenever you hear a big business saying eco-friendly, it means they want to save money.
Correct.
It's like Apple's like, we're not going to give you the charger block anymore because we're being eco-friendly. It's because it saves you $7 per unit. You sell millions of them. You're not fooling anybody, Apple. Anyway, I digress.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't understand.
Sex.
Correct. Now it's saying that the cardboard Olympic beds are not anti-sex, but they are comfy. But are they comfy? I don't know.
That's big cardboard saying putting that in the article.
But I'm looking at the headboard and the everything is cardboard. And they showed an Olympian jumping on it and was able to jump. I'm like, she's going to break this thing, and she was able to jump on
at the Last Supper. I'm sorry, that was bad. Oh boy.
But I guess they are trying to avoid the athletes having intimacy, which I don't understand. Who cares? Most of them are of age anyway. I don't understand.
Most of them. That's probably why. Most of them. That's your thinking. Is most of them are of age. It's it's whatever. What happens happens.
Right. Yeah. You could be right. But I guess they've. Am I frozen?
I don't know if you heard what I said. Did you hear what I said?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
I said, that's your thinking. You're like, most of them are of age, so it's whatever. And you're like, yeah, you're probably right.
I did hear that. So it's they are trying so hard to make this the anti-sex Olympics that they've banned Grindr over there. You can't get on a Grindr app over there. I guess they've
I did see
geocached it. Yeah,
I did see that. I think we take for granted that gay people were actually mostly accepted in America, because some of these countries there, they hate them. They hate them because I think they hate gay people because they just these guys are having so much fun. These guys are having so much fun. They found a cheat code to sex. Yeah. And Iran's over oh my gosh, just want to punch this guy in the face. And so Grindr's we're not going to let anyone punch anybody in the face here. We're going to disable but let's be real. Tinder, right? Tinder. gay people have gaydars. They're going to be able to be like, okay, I'm on Tinder now, but I'm, looking for a friend or something, right? They're going to know. They're going to know.
Yeah.
They're going to know, right?
Interesting that you bring up Tinder. I don't know what it is about sex and this Olympics, but someone changed their Tinder location to the Olympic Village and their notifications started blowing up. And I'm like, what is happening? Are these people so sex deprived that now it's this thing? I've never heard Olympics and sex being mentioned together so much.
They literally advertised it in the opening ceremony. Did you see that scene? Did you watch the whole opening ceremony?
I didn't watch any of the opening ceremonies. I have what's called a job, and I was working at that job during the opening ceremonies.
You should probably have a kid and go on paternal leave. There was a scene in the opening ceremonies of a threesome about to happen. They're like in a library and these three people just started kissing each other.
What?
So they are very horny over in Paris.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And I guess the Olympic Committee is trying to unhorny them. If they want to unhorny them, just have this podcast playing 24/7 in their dorms.
That would be really effective.
Yeah. The visual, not the audio one.
Do you guys watch the Olympics? And if you do, what's your favorite sport to watch? And don't make it sexual, please, Scott.
I love curling in the Winter Olympics.
Okay, I'm talking about this Olympics. Like when I asked, you get your head out of the gutter.
So what obscure or what's your go-to sport to watch?
Yeah, in Summer Olympics, like this Olympics.
Well, I'm not watching anything. You're
not watching Gold Zone, apparently.
I'm not. I mean, I would say like beach volleyball.
Yes.
I love beach volleyball. I think it's super exciting. Volleyball in general.
Volleyball in general. Emily doesn't get it. And maybe it's because I just love
I think it's exciting.
Yeah, men's volleyball is not that great, but the women's volleyball is like, I don't know, something about it.
They get a rally going and it's just exciting.
Yeah.
Also, I love soccer during the Olympics.
Soccer during the Olympics is great.
I don't love soccer year round.
It's the worst.
It's terrible. But
Horrible.
For some reason, the Olympics, love it.
So patriotic. Love it.
Sarah, do you have a go-to sport or it's just like, I'm just glad that Snoop Dogg got to carry the torch? It's about time.
Well, I was going to say something and it was the Winter Olympics, but after your answer, I'm afraid.
Yeah, don't do it.
I don't really watch Summer Olympics. And honestly, I don't, I know they play volleyball now, so thanks for that, guys.
They do.
And then
two forms.
They surf
track
now, too.
and they do
cornhole,
like diving and synchronized swimming, and soccer would probably be my go-to because I'm not really interested in any of that. Figure skating during winter, though.
I do like the pageantry of figure skating. I can't watch pairs though. I will not watch pairs figure skating because I'm so afraid that someone's going to get a skate blade to the jugular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, same thing. Yep. Same thing.
I can't
I can't watch these beautiful human beings just murder each other
for sport.
Exactly. Just
beauty is pain sometimes, guys.
Make the Olympics bloody again.
Rugby, on the other hand, no blades, just pure fists. I love rugby.
Okay, did you see the end of the bronze medal game? U.S.
Sure did.
And Australia.
Well, actually, I said sure did. I didn't watch it live because my daughter threw up all over me, and it was disgusting. So, did have to put her in the washing machine. Wait, no, I put her clothes in the washing machine. I put her in the bath. Actually, I'm a disgusting human being. I just baby wipe it. I just baby wipe everything. But anyway, I digress. So yes, I did see that. It wasn't live. I did see Australia score, and I was like, this sucks because USA is not going to win. Go up, change the puke off of her, come back down. USA won. It's like I'm kind of upset that I didn't get to see this live. So it did take away from it for me. I like my daughter. I will never let her live that down. Probably.
So I do have a confession to make, and I feel very awful saying this, and I need to kind of get Sarah's opinion on this. But I am not rooting for USA men's basketball. In fact, I'm rooting against them. I hate almost every player on that team, but I have a strong love for another country's team, and my jersey is actually on order because I love this team so much. Can anybody guess what team that may be?
Can't be South Sudan. There's too many people of color.
They have a great story.
Is it
Go
going to be
ahead, Sarah.
Germany?
It is Germany.
I
It
knew
is.
it
I've got
because
my
of me. That's why.
I've got my Deutschland jersey on its way. Let me tell you why. So 2 of the best players on Germany play for the Orlando Magic. And I'm like, well, I'd rather root for the Wagner brothers than for, LeBron James and Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid. Like, I'd rather root for guys that are on my team. Does that make me a bad American? Does that make me less of a patriot than any? To help me out, Sarah, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take this one, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, rooting for a team that's not your own is totally fine. Germany, really? It's okay. I understand. You got to stick with your players. I respect that. I do.
Chris, your thoughts? Is this okay?
So
my mom's pissed at me. She won't talk to me.
Here's my dilemma. I root for USA all day unless it's history. Like there was a kayaking thing going on today, and there was
like
an
the Jamaican
Australian
bobsled
girl.
team. You root for that.
Exactly. Just an Australian girl, and she's like, if she wins this, she'll be the most winningest Olympian in history, men or women. I'm a girl dad now, so I got to root for the girls. So it's like, but I'm not going to root against the USA. I'm just going to root in favor of history because I'm like, oh yeah, like 50 years ago, I watched the kayaker do that. Yeah, I was there. Right.
I love being part of history.
Exactly.
I will root for my least favorite pro sports team if they're on a winning streak or on a losing streak and could break a record. I want to be part of history. Yeah.
I say it every single time. I say, like, I will be watching Gold Zone, which is streaming on Peacock every day.
Not sponsored by Peacock.
And I'll turn to Emily and I'm like, I can't even be mad because we just witnessed history. And they cry and they hold hands. And it's just great. It's just the camaraderie between the different countries when even they know they're witnessing greatness. Now, you on the other hand, you're a piece of shit. Like, I don't know why you'd be rooting for, like, that has nothing to do with anything.
Germany's never won the gold medal in
basketball. They won the FIBA World Cup like last year.
Oh.
We're rooting for Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So,
that's like saying I'm going to McDonald's to try to lose weight. That's not just, it's a losing battle.
I would have thought that Puerto Rico would have been much better at basketball with the amount of talk that those people do on the streets, at the street ball. I would have thought that the Puerto Rican national team would have been a hell of a lot better.
Where have you ever been in a place where a Puerto Rican has talked anything during a street ball?
Anytime I've played street basketball, the Puerto Ricans are always the loudest.
Were they even allowed to come in the United States when you played street basketball?
They're allowed to come in the United States. They're just not allowed to enter the United States.
Oh, okay.
Well, listen, my husband talks a lot of shit. All right.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
He really does.
And Puerto Rico is part of the United States, Chris.
Yeah, you know what's weird is when I saw Puerto Rico as competing,
wait a second. Why does
like,
Puerto Rico have a national team? So wait a second. Puerto Ricans are always like, oh, we're part of America. We're part of the country. How do they get their own Olympic team?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I need Lewis's weigh in here.
And you know what too is the fact that like Puerto Rico's not winning shit. So why not just play for USA?
Right? What? Right. How does a territory of the United States have I don't get this. No,
me either.
So, in some ways they're allowed to do their own thing, but in others they're not. So,
well, it's pick and choose what they want to be, independent on. They're like, if you say, hey, go back to your country and like, I'm part of your country, then it's not okay. But when they're competing for an Olympic gold medal, it's like, oh yeah, we're our own country.
Yeah, you've picked a bone with Lewis now.
It's so weird. I don't know. I don't get it. All right. Well, maybe this next segment can shed some light on this. You guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
Yes.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Game Master Ryan brings us 2 news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It's up to us to determine which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan coming to you from the No New Friends newsroom located this week at Nick and Sean's house. We were just sitting here talking about last week's episode when Sean had to run out. Apparently, there's a comic convention in town, and he wanted to hook up with a guy cosplaying as Professor Xavier. So he asked me to keep an eye on Nick, who apparently had too many gummies, if you know what I'm saying. Nick's higher than Chris Yob's cholesterol.
Hey everybody, Nick Bryan here with Sandpiper Vacation.
We already know who you are. You don't need to introduce yourself like that. I was glad to hear you guys read my comment about your beards and Sarah last week. I'm just kidding. We all know Scott pleasures himself to a 15-year-old Judy Garland and a 82-pound dog. Apparently Scott's a chubby chaser now.
What a wonderful phrase.
Nick, do you know what the phrase chubby chaser means?
Never heard of it.
Nick, are you all right? I don't think you even know what year it is.
2020.
Missed it by that much. So you guys talked about the Gen Zers having parties after proposals? Millennials are doing it after the divorce. Scott has had more parties than a Chuck E. Cheese. Nick, did you hear about Sarah's trip to Savannah?
Never heard of it.
Nick, you're a travel agent and you've never heard of Savannah, Georgia?
It is a noun, something to which a person...
Nick, no, it's not. No. Nick, do you know anything about Georgia?
There's myths and legends, fairy tales and fantasies.
I don't think that's things in Georgia. Why don't you just relax a little bit? Did you hear that Sarah went on a ghost tour while in Savannah? Because of her complexion, she kept on getting confused for a ghost. I also heard that Dane hung out at Chris's house. I heard Dane's girlfriend brought cookies and whoopie pies. Chris had to take a few extra insulin shots that night.
Never heard of it.
Well, you see, Nick, it's a joke about Chris having diabetes. I shouldn't have to explain this to you.
I can't read.
You can't read? Nick, that's my bit. Your bit is being
It is
gay.
a noun, something to
Nick,
which a person...
What in the hell are you talking about, Nick? Why don't you go take a leak or something? Maybe it'll get some of that out of your system. So while Nick goes and takes a leak, let's get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man.
Which store should I pick?
Nick, it's your goddamn house. I don't know which one goes to the bathroom. So for our first story, a man calling coyotes is attacked by rodents. And for our second story, police warn parents about creepy clown sightings.
Oh.
So before we get started on guessing, if you guys don't know what soundboard, if you will, Ryan used this week, go over to Sandpiper Vacations social media, because Maddie, his new social media manager, assistant, whatever you want to call her, edited this really funny video of Nick unboxing something for the new Disney Cruise Line and edited it horribly on purpose. And Ryan used all the sound bites from that. That was really good.
That's incredible.
I'm going to go first here, Scott, because I know that there's a shitload of coyotes in New Jersey from personal experience. So coyotes, New Jersey, the other one, Florida.
Sarah?
I'm going to go with Chris just based off his own story on coyote.
There are plenty of coyotes here in Florida. So it's too hot to wear clown costumes to be warned about clowns would make sense here. So I'm going to go clowns, New Jersey, coyotes, Florida. Let's find out the answer.
So our first story is from Florida, where a man calling out to coyotes is attacked by armadillos. Are we still referring to Scott's penis as an armadillo? Because that changes this entire story. Anyways, that means our second story is from New Jersey, where in 2016 there was an uptick in creepy clown sightings. I've heard there's been more in the last 3 months. Pretty sure it's just Chris forgetting to take his daddy nose off before he goes outside. And in other news, a woman calls police after mistaking a realistic sex doll for a body. And this one was more confused than Biden was when he saw what he tweeted. Anyways, that's it for me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you so much, Rise. Oh, man. So, I had one of the worst things happen to me this morning. Okay.
Your black neighbor moved in?
That was yesterday. No. So we already know that I don't have a lot of sex. So I wake up today and my wife wakes up and she says, thank goodness.
That's great news. That was the worst thing that happened is you guys both woke up.
She says, I had a sex dream last night. And first thing I said was, well, lucky guy. That's awesome. But then I'm thinking, okay, wait a second. We already only have sex once a month. So now if you're having a sex dream, that means you're satisfied. You're good to go.
Oh, that's
so true. There goes our once this month. Thank you, sex dream. I don't know where I was going with that. Just wanted
that was the whole story. Yeah.
That was the whole story.
Yeah. We all feel horrible for you. Thoughts and prayers. It's not even I know you try to be funny. It's really sad, actually.
It is.
I feel for you. I will feel for you because you won't be able to feel anything this month. that sucks. I guess this is what we get to look forward to, Sarah, when we're middle aged. It's just like our significant other having.
Don't put me in that circle. I was actually gonna say that shouldn't a sex dream instigate some kind of intimacy and not, the opposite?
My thoughts exactly.
That's how it works in this household.
Right. But
now, I get the complete opposite. I get we wake up and you left me dream.
Oh, I get that too.
I get that too. And same
and
effect
it gets held against me.
Same as you say, same effect as yours, Scott, in the fact that she doesn't want to see me for the next however many weeks until I redeem myself. I have to, it costs me money. Like her bad dreams cost me like flowers or a date night, or a child. Like, why do you think we had a child?
To recover from a nightmare.
It was to say I'm sorry.
So you recovered from a nightmare by creating another nightmare. That's brilliant.
Alex, cut that. That was very disrespectful.
Chris, you got any cliff notes?
I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Sarah started off the podcast by telling us how much she paid for her daughters on back to school stuff. I don't really know what she said after that because I was busy putting my child up for adoption. Oh, these are funny to me because I forgot that I wrote these. This is a long time ago. Scott said that he had to get a lot of clothes for Abby while he was with him. Good thing you have a couple of trash bags full of all those abductions.
Oh my God.
We might have to cut that. I wrote that. I was like, I don't know if this is okay or not, but it's pretty funny. It's the character. Sarah said her girls love to wear her clothes, and we applauded it. I wear her clothes and people call me gay.
You wear women's clothes and there's a whole prayer vigil in Paris.
We talked a lot about our children growing out of things. It's exciting, but kind of sad. When I grow out of things, it's just sad. Oh, the worst part about that is it's not even a joke. It's just it's the funniest joke. So.
I remember FaceTiming with Chris one day. I was like, "Jesus, your face is fat."
This is not that's not untrue.
Says, the one with boob sweat.
Wow. I did develop that recently.
Oh, it's Sarah the worst. Oh my God. Hold on. The worst.
Actually, I was joking. I do not have boobs. So
okay. I
don't have boobs.
The first time I experienced boob sweat, I'm like, this is mortifying. I need to start losing weight. Like, this is super embarrassing.
I did join a Biggest Loser group chat with my friends. We'll talk about that next week.
All right.
Sarah said that her daughters are anomalies. So am I. People that are 5'6" aren't usually pushing 200 pounds. I'm trying to bulk right now because this Biggest Loser group chat, by the way. It's for money. Sarah said that you give what you get. Or you get what you give, I guess you said. You get what you give. And it doesn't feel great. I don't know, because I gave to Nick and what I got felt really good. So, I don't know if that's true or not. Scott said he cursed in front of the girls, Sarah's girls. They were confused and they looked at him weird. The word damn isn't something that they haven't heard before, Scott. It was the racial slur you used after the word damn that was new to them. Scott said he heard the whip cracking and ran to Indiana Jones. It's not because he loved Indiana Jones. He thought they were doing, in his opinion, the fun part of a Civil War reenactment.
Oh my God. The more and more I think about that, Joseph,
it wrote itself, I'll tell you what. Scott said the new Olympic beds are anti-sex. Now, rumor has it they modeled it right after Scott's bed. Not with the cardboard. It's just the ergonomics.
Leap number, God damn it.
And lastly, Scott said that he's rooting for Germany because he'd rather root for people that are on his team. He wasn't talking about the people that play for the Magic. He was actually just talking about the Axis powers.
Wow.
And those are my clip notes.
Oh. Thank you so much, Chris.
Oh, you're welcome, Scott.
What's going on with your wardrobe right now? It looks like you look like a 19.
I'll tell you what's going on in my wardrobe. I will tell you. I'll tell you. Right? It is a wrestling. It is a wrestling t-shirt.
You look
so
like
I'm wearing a tank top right now. I'm wearing a tank top because I have to wear a tank top because I'm wearing my daughter most of the day. And what is wearing? It's a verb. Apparently, wearing your child is a verb. I have I call it a sack. It's a carrier. I think sack's just so much funnier. Like you say, I'm gonna put Ellie in the sack. It's just really funny to say. It's fun. It's hilarious.
I have a
it's
sack
hilarious.
too, but there's only one anyway.
Exactly. It's just it's funny. It's funny because you throw the baby in the sack. So anyway, so I wear the sack, and I will. While I'm talking, I'm gonna multitask, which we'll see how that goes. Actually, I'm gonna pause for a second.
Actually, I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna do the other task.
Here's a picture of my daughter in her sack attached to me. And I wear this. I wear her most of the day. Not most of the day, because that's a huge stretch. But when Emily's not with her, which is like, I don't know, 10% of the day, I wear my daughter. And she is a freaking like furnace.
Like the Human Torch.
Oh, she is so hot. So I have to wear tank tops in my house. In my house that I pay almost $600 a month for electricity, so you know it's cold in here, and we've talked about that before the podcast.
So what you make up for in car insurance, you spend on your electric bill,
air conditioning. Yes,
gotcha.
So when it's a cool 66 in my house, she's keeping me warm, and it's 66 because of her. I'm billing her for this. I'm keeping an Excel spreadsheet. I'm keeping an Excel spreadsheet. Be like, PSE&G charged me $581 in the month of June. You were born in May. Wasn't that much before? So when you see the deduction in the college funds, this is why. So Sydney comments, baby wearing is uncomfortably hot. Yes, it is. So what am I doing? I'm wearing a tank top,
especially if you're searching for a single mom. It's incredibly hot.
It is. I guess it's bilingual. That's I'm drunk. Anyway, so I'm wearing a flannel over my tank top because I wanted to look a little put together for the podcast. We are live on YouTube, so I did put a flannel on to cover the tank top. But I'm not a tank top guy per se. I'm not Nick Bryan, so I'm not going to wear a tank top to the recording. It's just not me. But I will wear it when I wear my child.
You know what?
But I digress.
It doesn't change, at least not here. The girls sometimes it's so hot. They're so hot. I think they have fevers or they're sick or something. They also sleep under like 3 blankets wrapped up like burritos. They will say it themselves, but sometimes they're sweating and they're like, "Oh, I'm so comfortable. This is great."
No. And I really wished that she was a warm child like myself. I'm a warm individual and could be the BMI of myself, but I don't know. But I always run hot, temperature, not looks, unfortunately. It's just always very hot. And my child loves the warmth. So when we have a heat wave, she likes to be outside. I like to stay in the air conditioning. That's probably why my electricity bill is so high. But anyway, that's why I'm wearing a tank top. That's why I have a very deep cut shirt today. So if you ever see me wearing a deep cut shirt, it's because blame it on my daughter. I haven't ever wore a tank top until I became a dad, and that's just a fact of life.
Okay, Sarah, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on the Instagram at Old Soul Thrift or on the TikTok at SuperSarah94.
Don't forget Nick's socials, Sandpiper Vacations on all social media. Chris, where can everybody find you?
You can find me in my basement, which is the coolest room in the house. If you want to find my social media, you can find me at Chris Yob on Instagram or at Chris Yob NNF on TikTok, or you can see funny pictures and videos of my daughter, which I am exploiting for likes.
And you can connect with all of us on all of our social media platforms. All of our links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. You can see when we go live on TikTok at the Florida theme parks on Wednesdays. You can see us live on YouTube every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Become a friend with benefits, a Patreon member. Check out our sweet merch, all that good stuff. And if you listen to us on Spotify and Apple, make sure you give us a 5-star rating and review. Really helps us out. We love that. On behalf of Game Master Ryan, our producer Alex, Nick, Sarah, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we have to keep that.
I think we do have to keep that.
That's what a non-Jewish doctor said.
No new friends, just the old and the bold. In the world of chaos, we're the ones who hold. Scott, Chris, Sarah, and Nick, a tale to be told. Welcome to the podcast where adulting unfolds. Where adulting unfolds. Where adulting